Hello and welcome back to Mask of Angels, or The Matrix Has You. Whichever platform you are viewing this video on, it doesn't really matter because both accounts generally have the same content on them. But we'll talk about that at another time. Today or tonight's topic is going to be about Easter and how you should not celebrate Easter. I'm not going to go too deep or too in depth about this topic, except to say this is something you should not be doing. And that actually goes for most of these so-called holidays. Most of them have pagan origins, and we'll see why that is not good going forward. But let's begin here. It said Easter has pagan origins linked to ancient spring festivals celebrating renewal and rebirth. You see, it has nothing to do with Jesus or his sacrifice to save all of our souls or him being resurrected. It has nothing to do with that. With the way Easter is celebrated now or even in its beginnings. Okay, so let's begin again. Easter has pagan origins linked to ancient spring festivals celebrating renewal and rebirth, particularly associated with the goddess Estoril. And you can see how that was translated over to Easter. So basically what you're really doing is celebrating a goddess named Estoril. You're not even worshiping the Lord or his sacrifice to us. And let's get into why that is particularly dangerous for you and me and anyone who would celebrate Easter. Now again, remember, you are celebrating a goddess named Estoril and not Jesus Christ. So let's see what the consequences of that might be. Okay, so let's pick it up right here. What does it say? These are the 10 commandments, or the 10 laws, which is what they actually are. They are laws. God's 10 great laws to us. What is his first law? You shall have no other gods before me. So if you're celebrating or worshiping Estoril, Easter, and not him, that goes against his very first commandment. His very first law. You shall have no other gods before me. So that's very, very clear. I mean, I think we can all agree that that's one of the, if not the most important law, because it's number one. The Lord put it there number one for a reason. And at a certain point, we'll go back into this law because this also has to do with more than just Easter. It could be any other thing that you put in place of the Lord in your heart. And we as humans, we're kind of all guilty of this at a certain point or another. Me, you, all of us. So we definitely have to work on this. But that'll be a video for another day. But again, we're kind of all guilty of this, but we definitely have to make or do our absolute best to make the Lord number one in our hearts. Because that goes to 2 right here. Is it 2 or 3? No, let's go right here. 2. It says, you shall make no idols. You shall not make for yourselves a carved image, any likeness or anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water underneath the earth. You shall not bow down to them or serve them. For I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children to the third and fourth generations for those who hate me, but showing mercy to the thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. Now, why is this very important as far as it concerns Easter? This is very important as it concerns Easter because what is Easter associated with? You may not have known that it was associated with Estoril, but you do know it's associated with the Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny. The Easter Bunny is a folkloric figure and a symbol of Easter. Not Jesus, not his sacrifice, nothing of that nature. It's a symbol of Easter, depicted as a rabbit, sometimes dressed with clothes, bringing Easter eggs. And the thing about it is, rabbits don't even lay eggs. So this is all foolishness from the very start. So the bottom line is, you may have seen this video a little later in the day, so maybe you did celebrate Easter with your family or friends, but you know now going forward, don't ever celebrate Easter again, ever. Because if you do, you could wound up in this place. Because you're breaking the Lord's laws, the first and the second one, the two that are up top. You're breaking them. And now that you know the truth, there's kind of no reason, no excuse for not celebrating Easter. This is the place where you're probably going to end up if you know the Lord's law and you decide to just say, well, as someone else said in another video, when the Lord kind of gives you a law and says, these are the boundaries and guidelines I've set for you, and then you as a human, you say, well, no, I don't think so. I think I know what's best. In that instance, you've made yourself a little mini God, because you decided that you know what's best, instead of this immortal being who knows everything. You see how dangerous that is? So I'm not on here to point fingers at anyone or make anyone feel bad because you didn't know. Because at one time, information is new to us on a daily basis. But now that you do know, it's real simple. Easter from this day going forward, as well as many of these other so-called holidays, it's just another day. Just do what you would normally do and just don't worry about it. Put it behind you. But when I say don't worry about it, that doesn't mean don't go to the Lord and ask the Lord for forgiveness for all of these years of you breaking the first and second law. Go to the Lord, talk to him about it, and go forward doing the best you can, and just don't celebrate Easter anymore. Okay, so that's it. I'd like to thank you very much for your time. And thank you again for visiting Mask of Angels, or The Matrix Has You, and you have a great evening.